So now we're going to be moving on to the second example on how to use ChatGPT for machine learning and data science. Here we're going to be analyzing the Titanic dataset, which contains real-time data. So our goal is to build a machine learning model that answers the question, what sorts of people were more likely to survive, using passenger characteristics and features, such as name, age, gender, socioeconomic class, and much more. Now I'm on the ChatGPT interface, and I'm going to start by uploading the file of data that I'm going to work with. So I'm gonna head over to the plus sign. I'm gonna press on the dataset and upload it. Now, once the dataset is uploaded, I'm going to go ahead and ask ChatGPT to read the file and explain its content. So read the data. So read the data and explain its content. Now here again, I'm just asking ChatGPT to explain its content to see if it actually understands what's inside the Excel file. Okay, so here ChatGPT gave us an output of all the content in the Excel file. So it starts with the passenger ID, which is a unique identifier for each passenger. And then it tells us if the passenger survived, which is a binary value. So it's 1 for survived and 0 for not survived. And the P class, the class of the ticket the passenger purchased, first, second, or third class. It also has the name of the passenger, the sex, the gender of the passenger, the age of the passenger, and much more. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ask ChatGPT to do some exploratory data analysis just so I can get some insights on the data. Can you perform data exploratory analysis to get some insights on the data? So data exploratory analysis is just a step to take to be able to understand the data more and get some insights on it. And ChatGPT does that by providing some basic statistics, missing values, a distribution of key features, correlations, and visualizations. And here ChatGPT gives us some basic statistics from the numerical columns. So the passenger ID ranges from 1 to 891, indicating a total of 891 passengers in the dataset. It also mentions the survived rate. So the average is about 0.38, which means around 38% of the passengers in this dataset survived the Titanic disaster. And here it also does further statistics on the age, sibling, spouse, parent-child, and fare features. So next, let's check for missing values in the dataset. Here's the summary of missing values in the dataset. So ChatGPT does that and tells us that the age column has 177 missing values. The cabin has 687 missing values, and the embarked has 2 missing values. You can also see the work here if you press on the find work. And you can see that ChatGPT writes this line of code to determine the amount of missing values in each column. And you can see the output here. So ChatGPT uses this code, which is the .isNull.sum, to find the number of missing values in each column. So as you can see, the next thing ChatGPT does is visualize the distribution of key features. to get a deeper understanding of the data. The next thing ChatGPT does is visualize the distribution of key features to get a deeper understanding of the data. So here you have the plots for each one, and then ChatGPT also gives you the insights from these visualizations. So let's go ahead and read them. For the survival distribution, more passengers did not survive than those who did. This aligns with the tragic history of the Titanic. Then you have the ticket class distribution. Most passengers were in the third class, followed by first and second class. The distribution could influence survival rates since the class might correlate with the location on the ship and access to lifeboats. So again, you can go back here to the plot to see where ChatGPT is getting these insights from. So here you can clearly see from the second plot that the third class was the majority between the first and second and third. And also for the survival distribution, you can also see that the did not survive is much more than the survived. So next, ChatGPT does gender distribution. There were more males passengers than female passengers on board. You also have the age distribution, the number of siblings, spouse distribution, and the number of parent-child distribution. So then ChatGPT tells us to further understand the relationship between features, let's examine the correlations, especially focusing on survived column. We can use a heat map to visualize these correlations. So here ChatGPT generated a heat map and also gave us some insights based on this heat map. So the heat map provides a visual representation of the correlations between numerical features in the dataset. This suggests that passengers in higher classes, such as first class, had a higher survival rate than those in lower class. For the survivor and fare, there's a positive correlation between the fare and survival. Passengers who paid more had a better chance of survival. And ChatGPT also does further correlations between other features, such as the age and P class, sibling, spouse, and parent-child, P class, and fare.